standing on two boxes. I'm in a onesie, and this is my kitchen, and we're back. Hi. So I hope everyone had a great Christmas. Today is New Year's Eve. I'm making a little bit of a cake dessert thing. And this is the only time I have to film. So we're gonna talk about some books while I make a cake. Fun! So I have my read books in 2019 right here, right next to my recipe that I need to make. So we're gonna talk about those, but first let me give you a life update while I find some bowls. So this is like a podcast, just listen to it, but click off, I don't know. So basically, this year has been a bit of a mess. Oh, everything's gonna fall on my face. Ooh. This year has been a bit of a mess. I started the second semester of my master's degree in February something. That was very difficult for me. It was a lot of hard work. And then this September-ish, I started my last year of my master's degree, where I have to do a thesis and an internship. Hi. So we've been struggling. I get home really late, there's no light, everyone is home, my cat is on top of the microwave again. So I haven't had time to either read nor make some booktube videos, but I missed you all and all that cheesy shit people say. But now I'm back with whatever this is. You might be getting some of these like messy videos that make no sense. Sorry about that. You can unsubscribe, that's fine. I might as well tell you what I'm making, right? So it makes a bit more sense what's happening here. So it's basically this dessert that just has like cookies in it and things. It's super easy, just mix it all together. Let me show you. So I have some cream, I think. See, translating names of food is very difficult, but I have some cream. I read it in English, I found it. Caramelized condensed milk, semi-skimmed, whatever that is, I have it. And I have some cookies. And you basically just like mash these, mix those, and have a dessert. Sorry to my lactose intolerant friends. This is just real life, guys. It's real life. So let's start talking about the books I actually read in 2019. So the first book I read this year was Darius the Great is Not Okay. I can't find my scissors, there they are. Darius the Great is Not Okay. I feel like I've talked about that book 105 times here, so I won't go off about it. I won't give like descriptions. Who wants to see that? That's boring. But it was great. I loved it. I cried curling my hair and I burned myself multiple times. Ha! No, but it was a really good book. I think the sequel is coming out 2020, I'm pretty sure. Hope it's not 2021, 21st, 20 something. Hope it's this year. It starts tomorrow. Let's hope. But it was great. It was very sweet, very soft. I listened to the audiobook. I did the most. I feel like half of these I listened on audio. So I am actually like the other ones that I didn't listen to are in my room, and that's like the last door. We're not doing that. We're sorry. That was great. Then we come to a book that was a bit shit. And listen, it was So Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. It was just not a good time for me. I again listened to the audiobook and I literally can't remember any of the characters' names. That's normal actually. I shouldn't be pointing that out. That happens. But it was so bad. Like half of it I listened while I put together some IKEA furniture. I forget what I was putting together, but I was putting together something. And it was like on 3 times speed or 4 times speed or whatever it was. The point was I couldn't understand any of it. So I actually don't know what happened. And I shouldn't count it as a red book. I should count it as a DNF. So I'm a bit of a cheater, but I think I deserve that after going through half of that mess. It was so boring. I've talked about this like 100 times as well, but it was just boring, and I apologize that we had to read it as a community. It's life. And we have Shadow and Bone, and I might as well just talk about Siege and Storm. So I started reading it before, well, I thought I was going to read it before the show got announced. Something of that kind. And I still haven't read Ruin and Rising because I'm so bored of it. Like, Siege and Storm was so boring. Oh! Hi! Cooking. A masterclass by me. See, I'm not okay. Okay, please go back. Please, for the love of Christ. Okay. Yeah, Siege and Storm was really boring. But, oh, I never know which one is which. I think it's like... No, I think it's like that. Wait, maybe it's not. I hate it! Mom, I hate it here, Mom! It's definitely not like that. Mom, I hate it here, Mom! Hopefully that... Like, that doesn't seem right, but I think that's right. If these fall, it'll be really funny. Views! What was it? Yeah, Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm. They were just boring. Like, what else can I say? There was just... I talked about them as well. You know, I just want to get to Ruin and Rising so I can reread Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. That's what I deserve. That's what I deserve in 2020. So I'm trying to get to Ruin and Rising right now. Pray for me. And then I can read King of Scars finally, because I still don't know what that's about. You know what? I'm talking about like all these books, and it's just boring. So let's just talk about the books we want to talk about. So I want to talk about The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet, because I don't think I've talked about it. And I loved it lots. It was so cute. I'm not really a sci-fi person. I only studied Star Wars for Baby Yoda. But I really liked The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet because it was quite like soft. It was really slow. I really like slow books. It was kind of like a character study or whatever the fancy people say. I really enjoyed it. My mom told me this cream wouldn't solidify. And like, she was right. So buy better cream and try to get it like solid. Like when you turn, I can't do it because it will fall off. But when you turn the bowl, it kind of just like stays there. So since we're talking about books that matter and we're jumping over the little shitty books, I want to tell you about the only biography I read this year, I think. I forget what it's called. I loved it though. What the hell is it called? I read the Andrew Reynolds autobiography. I also read Autobiography. That was fine. It was cute. But I want to talk about Andrew Reynolds right now. Too much is not enough. The Andrew Reynolds autobiography, which was hilarious. He's so fun. The cat is trying to come for the cream. No! Nina! No! Nina! No! No! Why are you so annoying? You're so cute. Look at her. Oh, you're so cute. Look at you. Oh, you're so cute. Too Much Is Not Enough by Andrew Reynolds. It was so funny. He went through a lot trying to get shows on Broadway before he scored the main role in A Book of Mormon. So that's kind of where it stops. It's like, I'm happy now. Let's stop this biography. But it was really fun. I really liked it. If you like biographies, if you like the theatre world, read it. The other two books I think I really want to talk about is The Poetex and With the Fire on High. Those are both by Elizabeth Acevedo. I already talked about The Poetex. I told you I cried on the plane. Great time for me. But I don't think I cried. I didn't cry with the Fire on High. But it was very good. I preferred The Poetex. But With the Fire on High wasn't poetry. Wasn't like spoken poetry like The Poetex. But if you liked one, read the other because they were both so good. And I just think Elizabeth Acevedo is amazing. She's brilliant. And I can't do this while talking. But With the Fire on High definitely felt more solid and more grown up. Felt like a little bit of a more grown up version of The Poetex. So I really enjoyed it, and it dealt with amazing things like teenage not pregnancy, well, a little bit, but more parenting as a teenager, which I thought was really cool, and grandparents. Which, speaking of grandparents, I want to talk about We Are Okay, because I thought I was gonna like be really moved by that book. So basically, this girl and her grandpa was like her big parent figure, passes away. And it was just, it just didn't click with me. I keep thinking about it because I thought I was gonna be like really moved by it, and I read it like a few months after my grandfather passed away. So maybe I just wasn't ready, and I put like these walls so I wouldn't let myself get too attached. But I just don't think that was it. I don't know, and then it was sapphic as well. I'm sad that I don't remember how much I gave it on Goodreads, but I still liked it. I just didn't like it as much as I thought I would, which was a bit sad. However, I think the cream is as solid as it's gonna get. I'm a cooking channel now. Love this for me. So now I'm just gonna do the same to the whatever this thing was called that I told you. Maybe if you look at it, it's a bit more helpful than just me telling you. Not sponsored, by the way. Because then you're gonna mix the cream with this. And if you, my mother told me this, I'm not trying to act like I know what I'm doing. When you mix the cream with this, if you don't mix this before, it'll just be kind of like clumpy. So you give this a little mix, and then you're fine. You're fine, you're great, you're dandy. I don't know if it's the entire... My mother didn't... This is a lot. We'll just go with it. It's fine. So we're just gonna mix this. And then... Oh, I fucking love it. Blessed. Blessed. And there's a really important thing, is trying to keep the cat away from the food you're making. So that can be a bit difficult because she tries to eat everything. But we have to try our best. No cats in the kitchen. Go to your bed. Oop. Meow meow. She meows a lot. She's fine, don't worry. So we're just gonna move my... Here she comes again. Anyway, as I was saying, you just dump this in here. So let me like organize my... So I have this really big kitchen, but no counter space, so that's fun for me. Let's just like try. Let me get a spoon. So I didn't read as much as I wanted to, clearly, this year. Whoa, that's disgusting. Nina. She's right underneath my phone, you can't see her. Anyway, I didn't read as much as I wanted to this year, clearly. And I didn't read anything that like ended my life, you know. Well, yeah. I read a few books that ended my life a little bit. at the beginning of the year. And then in the middle of the year, I read next to nothing. So how could something change my life if I'm not reading at all? But I did just... I'm trying to have an important conversation here. Meow! She's like this, she's fine, she's not starving, she just ate. As I was trying to say, I read... Well, I just finished binge reading, what is it called? The Folklore trilogy. So I read them all in a row. I read The Cruel Prince, and then I read The Wicked King, and then I read Queen of Nothing, which I keep calling Queen of Air and Nothing. Please stop titling your books Queen of something, because I get confused. See, my favorite was The Wicked King, so let's get that out of the way. I thought Queen of Nothing was a little bit too short for what he was trying to do. However, this is very important, okay? Maybe, perhaps, in very random circumstances, enemies to lovers perhaps deserves rights. I said it. So I don't like enemies to lovers usually, but I'd literally throw myself off a building for judecardan. So we have a bit of a problem, see? So we have a bit of a problem because I can't say I hate enemies to lovers and then try to kill a bitch for judecardan. I just can't, and I don't know how to deal with that. I'm having a bit of an identity crisis, so please feel sorry for me because this is very difficult right now. Anyway, let's mix the salted, caramel, whatever it was that I told you to mix. Let's just mix it with a spoon first, so we don't make a big mess. Let's tell our cat to stop jumping on counters! Oh, I'm so bad. I'm such a bad parent. I'm literally the worst. Okay. Let's mix that and I'll come back to talk about the blueprints a bit more. Okay, so now we're done with our mixing of the thing. And we're going to join it to our cream and kind of just like mix, but not with the thing, with the spoon. I'm so good at this. So yeah, The Wicked King, whatever. So when I was reading The Cruel Prince, I thought, I'm not gonna stand this, he's so mean, blah 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 blah, whatever dumb shit I said. And I kept saying that, and I was like, I'm not falling for this, whatever. I love Jude from the beginning, she's so dumb, she's so funny, I love her. And I said, Cardan is very annoying, I hate him, but then he decided to be soft and funny and adorable and like actually kind of smart a little bit, even though he's a dumbass. So I was weakened. My pride was crushed and I had to say, okay, maybe I stand him a little bit. So that was by the end of The Cruel Prince. So I get to The Wicked King, and I'm like, no, this is a second book, second book syndrome, middle book syndrome, like it won't be good, I won't care, it's fine. That was just, a bit of a slip. And I'm reading The Wicked King, and I told you it was my favorite because Holly Black said, middle books on the roll. She said middle book syndrome, Woomstead. And we love her for that, we have to stand. So I was going through it, reading The Wicked King, and being annoyed by how much I love Cardan. And I was just, I wasn't like standing them together until they started being cute together. I was just like, oh, I really like Jude and I really like Cardan, but I don't feel the need for them to actually be together. I think they're fine on their own. They're living their best life, like they're going through a lot, the both of them. It's fine. But then they started to be really cute together. Like Jude was telling Cardan to do shit, and he was just like, I trust you, Jude. please literally leave my house. And so in The Wicked King, I started actually losing my mind because I was falling in love with an enemies to lovers couple. That's very traumatic for me. Please feel bad, really, because I went through it. And yeah, that was it. That was when my whole entire life was over, done for, ended, dead, beheaded. See, by the time we got to Queen of Nothing, I was just ready to sell my soul to the devil for them to be together, really. Because we just, and then okay, spoilers ahead thing for the 3 books, because I read them back to back. I don't know when one ends and the other one starts. So spoilers for everything in life in general. But when Cardan started calling Jude my queen, he called her my queen, please! Okay, I'm fine. It's fine, I'm fine. I was, like, someone is shooting fireworks outside my house. That's how I felt. Thank you, God, because that's literally how I felt. And then the people I follow on Twitter who are the folk of air stems. Why is it called the folk? I feel like I'm making that up. The folk of, no, it sounds right. Whatever, the stands. I think they're all really precious and I really love them all. So it just makes the whole experience better. And it's great for me and for Twitter and for my entire life. So now that you have everything mixed, I'll show it. I'll show my amazing work of. So you have everything mixed. You're just gonna grab cookies. Now I don't know how to explain to you what cookies these are. They're just, actually, I'll just take one out. Give me a second. This is very important. You're following this tutorial, I know. Wait, wait. This is a cookie. And you kind of just kind of crumble them into there, just with your hands. Should have washed my hands. I was touching a cat. That's fine, no one's allergic. You're just gonna crumble it. And you can smash them with like your hands or a hammer, and just putting them inside like a plastic bag or a bit of a rag that you have around the house. I don't know your life. But when you smash it, when you crumble it, when you crumble it with your hands, it kind of like leaves little crumbs. And I really like that, so I'm doing it with my hands. By the time I read Queen of Nothing, it was over for me. Over that. And then when I finished it 2 nights ago, I think. I just went on AO3 and I was looking up fan fiction, and I haven't read fan fiction in literally years. I think my Les Mis phase was the last time I read fan fiction. But the Les Mis fan fiction is actually iconic. People are so, anyway, doesn't matter. But I didn't want to read fan fiction because then I get annoyed when people don't, I don't know, when they don't picture the characters as I do. It's not that I get annoyed, it's that I just start analyzing it in my head. I'm like, will this character do this? And it's just work for me, so I try to avoid reading fan fiction. Nina! Look at this. Look at this fat cat. He's licking my hand. Fat cat. She's a bit fat and she's a cat. What was I saying? Oh yeah, fan fiction. So I went to read fan fiction, but I ended up spending like 20 minutes going through the fan fiction summaries, because some of them were just amazing. Some of them were like really deep, like Cardan sees her and for the first time in his life he smiles. And some of them were just like quotes from poems. I think that happens a lot with fan fiction nowadays. Others there were a lot of like real world alternate universes. I pronounce it. See, I have a problem with this word. It's because I pronounce it O. And I don't think that is how you should do, like AU. A lot of AUs. But I'm gonna have to kick my cat out of the kitchen. Give me 2 seconds.